The Stoics' Guide to Success and Resilience. Master your mind, master the world. Let me hit you with a fact you need to tattoo onto your soul. If you don't own your mind, you'll never own anything in this world. Everything starts and ends in your head. Your emotions? They're either your greatest weapon or your biggest liability. Most people are too weak to control themselves, and that's why they lose. They get pulled by every little feeling, sadness, anger, fear, and they wonder why they're stuck. The real problem? They never learned how to master the only thing they can truly control: their mind. In today's soft world, we're taught to give into emotions, to let them flow freely, but that's garbage. Feelings are just fleeting impulses. They'll mess with you if you don't take charge. The Stoics knew this thousands of years ago. They knew emotions are not facts, they're just noise. Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca. These guys understood one fundamental truth that makes the weak uncomfortable. Control your emotions, and you control your world. It's that simple, and it's that hard. The reason you're not where you want to be. Your emotions own you. You think fear is a sign to stop. You think pain means something's wrong. But here's the truth. Emotions are just data. They're not the decision makers. When you understand that, you'll stop reacting like a leaf in the wind. You'll start choosing how to respond. And that's the Stoic superpower, being bulletproof. If you can stay calm in the middle of chaos, nothing can touch you. The weak? They crumble the second something doesn't go their way. Take control of your reactions. If you're angry, good. Use it. If you're scared, use that too. It's all fuel, but only if you own it. Don't waste time whining about the emotions you feel. Harness them, direct them. That's the Stoic way. Don't let emotions push you around. Push them around instead. This mindset alone separates you from the average person, because the average person is soft. They let their emotions rule them, and that's why they never get anywhere. Look at modern life. Everyone's chasing happiness like it's the be-all and end-all. Happiness isn't the goal. Mastery is. And mastery means mastering yourself first. How do you expect to dominate the external world if you can't even handle the world inside your head? It's pathetic, and it's holding you back from becoming the force of nature you could be. Stoicism is brutal in its simplicity, and that's why it works. Control what's in your control, your thoughts, your reactions. You can't control the weather, the economy, or even other people. But what you can control is how you interpret those things and how you react to them. The man who controls his mind controls his fate. And that man? He's unstoppable. He's unbreakable because nothing outside of him can shake him. You've heard the phrase, mind over matter, but I'm telling you it's deeper than that. It's mind over everything. It's mind over fear, mind over failure, mind over weakness. Your mind is the only thing standing between you and domination. And when you master it, you become untouchable. People talk about mental toughness like it's some secret, but it's no secret. It's a choice. It's the decision to stop letting external events dictate your internal state. When the world throws chaos at you, a Stoic doesn't flinch. A Stoic chooses the path forward. Look at the people who win. Athletes, entrepreneurs, warriors. They're Stoics, whether they know it or not. They don't cry about setbacks. They don't freak out over bad breaks. They adjust, adapt, and keep moving because they're in control of their minds. Their emotions serve them, not the other way around. But here's the part where most people fail. They hear this and think it's about being emotionless. It's not. You're not a robot. You'll feel everything. The pain, the fear, the anger, it's all still there. But you control it. You channel it. You use it to fuel your actions, not dictate them. That's the difference. That's what makes you a predator in a world full of prey. Most people let their emotions steer the ship, and they wonder why they're always crashing. You? You're the captain, and your emotions are just the crew. They follow your orders. Look, life is going to punch you in the mouth. That's a guarantee. You can't stop that, but what you can do is decide how you're going to respond. Will you cry, complain, and let the punch define you? Or will you get back up, smile through the blood, and hit harder? The Stoic knows that control isn't about the absence of pain. It's about choosing what you do with the pain. So here's the challenge. Stop being a slave to your emotions. Stop letting the weak mindset you've been conditioned with rule your life. From this moment on, you decide how you react. You choose how to interpret the world around you. When you feel fear, use it as motivation. When you feel anger, let it drive you forward. When the world tries to break you, laugh and get stronger. The Stoic doesn't bend. The Stoic doesn't break. And neither do you. Master your mind, and the world will bow to you. Fail to do that, and you'll always be a victim of circumstance, of weakness, of failure. But you're better than that. I know it, and deep down, you know it too. Now it's time to prove it. This is the path to mental toughness. This is the path to success. It's not easy, but nothing worth having ever is. Are you ready to take control? Because once you do, there's no going back. This is the foundation of everything you'll ever achieve. Master your mind, and you'll master the world. Embrace the suck, turning adversity into advantage. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Life's hard. And it should be. The reason you're stuck where you are is because you've been trained to avoid discomfort, dodge adversity, and complain when things get tough. But here's the reality. The suck is where the magic happens. The suck, the struggle, the hardship, that's where you separate yourself from the masses. The people who rise to the top don't run from adversity. They charge into it, headfirst, knowing that's where strength is forged. You've got to flip your mindset. Most people see adversity as a roadblock. Winners see it as fuel. Pain, discomfort, setbacks? These aren't signals to stop. They're signals that you're on the right track. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't just tolerate adversity, they welcomed it. Because adversity is where you find out who you really are. Anyone can be strong when things are easy. But strength in the face of hardship? That's where real power is born. And if you can master that, there's nothing that can stand in your way. Here's the thing. You can't grow without pain. Muscle doesn't build without tearing. Mental toughness doesn't develop without adversity. You want to know why so many people fail? It's not because they lack talent or potential, it's because they lack the guts to face the fire. They run from pain. They avoid the suck, and in doing so, they rob themselves of the very thing that would make them great. Stop being soft. Stop looking for the easy way. Life doesn't give handouts to the comfortable. You think you're going to achieve greatness by staying in your comfort zone? You're delusional. Every time you back away from discomfort, you're weakening yourself. Every time you lean into it, you're building a foundation of strength that no one can take from you. That's what the Stoics did, and that's what you need to do if you want to win in life. Discomfort is your best friend. Pain is your teacher. When you start seeing adversity as your training ground, your whole world changes. Look around you. People are terrified of anything that hurts. They want success, but they're too scared of the work it requires. They want strength, but they run from the very thing that builds it. You're different. You've got to be. Because if you want to dominate life, you have to be willing to embrace the grind, the pain, the discomfort. The reason you're not where you want to be is because you're too soft with yourself. You back off when things get hard. But here's the truth. The harder it is, the better it is for you. Every moment of adversity is an opportunity for you to prove how bad you want it. When life gets tough, you don't quit. You don't complain. You don't ask why me. You look it dead in the eye and say, bring it on. Adversity is your proving ground. And the sooner you stop running from it, the sooner you'll start growing. Think about the Stoics. These guys faced exile, imprisonment, betrayal, and they didn't blink. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, but his empire was constantly at war. Disease was rampant, and betrayal was lurking around every corner. Yet he wrote about accepting everything with calm. Why? Because he knew the truth. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. And that's all that matters. In today's world, people fold at the first sign of difficulty. They whine when things don't go their way. You laugh at hardship. You embrace it, knowing it's sharpening you. Most people crumble under pressure, but the Stoic knows that pressure is what creates diamonds. The more life tries to break you, the stronger you become. That's the mindset of a winner. That's how you dominate your environment. Imagine this. Every time something bad happens, every time you face a setback, you stop seeing it as a problem and start seeing it as a gift. Because that's exactly what it is. Every challenge is an opportunity. Every moment of adversity is a chance to build strength. When you're in the middle of the suck, that's where your true character is revealed. Do you collapse, or do you stand tall? That's the question. And if you're serious about being the best, the answer is obvious. Pain isn't your enemy. Discomfort isn't your enemy. Your real enemy is your own weakness. Your desire to avoid the hard stuff, to back down when things get uncomfortable. That's what's holding you back. Once you learn to embrace the suck, to lean into adversity, you become unstoppable. Because the world can throw whatever it wants at you, and you'll be ready. Most people get knocked down and stay there. You get knocked down and rise even stronger. The truth is, the more you face adversity, the more you grow. But you've got to stop thinking of hardship as something to avoid. It's something to invite. Every successful person you admire has been through hell. They've faced the struggle, they've been tested by fire, and that's exactly why they're successful. If they ran from the suck, they'd be nobodies. But they didn't. They embraced it. They turned every obstacle into an advantage. That's what you're going to do too. So next time life slaps you in the face, don't whine, don't back down, and don't even flinch. Smile, welcome it, because every setback is a setup for your next victory. Every moment of pain is a chance to harden your mental armor. And when you do that, there's nothing that can stop you. The world is full of people who quit when things get hard. Don't be one of them. Be the one who thrives in the hard. Be the one who dominates through adversity. Embrace the suck. That's where the real growth happens. And if you can learn to love that, if you can learn to find power in pain, you'll become the kind of person who succeeds where others fail. The art of indifference, winning by letting go. Here's a fact. The world doesn't care about you. It doesn't owe you anything. Life is indifferent, and if you think it's going to cater to your feelings, you're already losing. The sooner you accept that, the faster you'll start winning. The problem most people face is that they believe they're special. They think the universe should hand them success, happiness, and fulfillment just because they exist. But let me break it to you. Life isn't fair, and it never will be. So, what's your move? You let go of the need for life to be fair. You stop caring about what's out of your control, and you focus on the only thing that matters. What you can control. That's how you win. The Stoics mastered this principle centuries ago, and it's as relevant today as it was back then. They called it indifference, not in the weak, passive sense, but in the powerful sense of detachment. Detachment from the things you can't influence. Detachment from other people's opinions. Detachment from failure and success. You focus on your actions, your mindset, and your character, and let the rest fall where it may. That's real power. Because the moment you stop being chained to the outcome, you gain control over the process. And in the process, you become unstoppable. You've been lied to your whole life. Society tells you that you should care about what people think, that you should be driven by external validation, that you should chase approval and avoid rejection. All that does is make you weak. You spend your time trying to please others, trying to fit into a mold that's not even yours. And when things don't go your way, you crumble. That's pathetic. But here's the thing. When you stop giving a damn about all the noise around you, you free yourself to actually live. You become focused, disciplined, and driven by purpose, not by the opinions of the herd. The art of indifference is simple. Care about what you can control, and let go of the rest. It's not easy, but it's powerful. Think about how much energy you waste on things that are out of your control. You worry about what people say. You obsess over outcomes you can't guarantee. You let fear of failure stop you from even trying. Why? Because you care too much about things that don't matter. Here's a rule for you. If it's outside your control, it's outside your concern. Stop stressing about it, stop thinking about it, and move on. Take this to heart. Most of the problems in your life are caused by your attachment to things you shouldn't be attached to. You're attached to the idea of success, and when it doesn't come, you're crushed. You're attached to people's opinions, and when they don't approve, you're shattered. You're attached to outcomes, and when they don't turn out as planned, you fall apart. That's not strength. That's weakness disguised as ambition. The Stoics teach you to stop clinging to what you can't control. Success, failure, approval, rejection, none of it defines you. What defines you is how you act in the face of it all. Look at Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, arguably one of the most powerful men of his time. Yet, he wrote about being indifferent to wealth, fame, and even his own reign. Why? Because he knew that those things weren't within his control. His power didn't come from being emperor. It came from his ability to stay focused on what he could do, act justly, think rationally, and live virtuously. The rest? That was just noise. He didn't chase after things that could vanish in an instant. He stayed grounded in what he could control, and that's why his legacy endures. In modern life, we're bombarded with distractions, social media, societal expectations, the pressure to be liked, admired, and accepted. But the truth is, chasing approval from the outside world is a game you'll never win. The moment you base your value on external validation, you're finished. Because people are fickle, outcomes are unpredictable, and success is never guaranteed. But when you learn to be indifferent to all of that, you become immune to failure, immune to criticism, immune to the chaos of the world. That's real freedom. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think indifference means not caring at all. That's not it. Indifference doesn't mean apathy. It means being focused on what you can control, your effort, your mindset, your discipline, while letting go of the need to control what you can't. You still want to win, but you're not shattered if you don't. You still aim for success, but you don't fall apart when setbacks hit. You still pursue excellence, but you're not defined by the outcome. That's what makes you powerful beyond measure. When the world can't shake you, you've already won. This doesn't just apply to big events in your life, it's an everyday discipline. When someone cuts you off in traffic, do you lose your mind, or do you stay calm because you know you can't control other people's actions? When your plans fall through, do you get frustrated, or do you adapt and move forward because you know flexibility is strength? When people criticize you, do you crumble under the weight of their words, or do you let it roll off because their opinion has no power over you? Here's the secret to dominating life. The less you let external events dictate your internal state, the more control you gain over your life. When you learn to let go of things you can't influence, you free up all that mental energy to focus on what really matters, your purpose, your growth, your mission. And when you're laser focused on those, nothing can stop you. Not failure, not rejection, not criticism. You become untouchable. You need to understand that there's strength in not caring. Not caring about the things that drag most people down. When you master the art of indifference, you can face anything, loss, hardship, adversity, with an unshakable mindset. You're not swayed by external circumstances because you've trained yourself to focus only on what you can control. And that's the Stoic way. It's not about being cold or detached from life. It's about being laser focused on what truly matters: your actions, your mindset, and your resilience. So stop giving a damn about things that aren't worth your time. Stop wasting energy on outcomes, opinions, or failures. Focus on what you can control. Act with purpose. Let everything else slide off you like water off a rock. That's how you win in a world full of people who are constantly stressed, distracted, and emotional. You don't just survive, you thrive. Unbreakable will. How discipline equals freedom. Discipline. It's a word that makes most people flinch because they don't understand it. They think it's about restriction, about living a life that's joyless, rigid, and boring. They couldn't be more wrong. Discipline is the key to ultimate freedom. You want success? You want to dominate life on your terms? Then discipline is your golden ticket. It's not the enemy of freedom, it's the creator of it. Without discipline, you're a slave to your impulses, your distractions, your laziness. But with it, you become untouchable. You create a life where you're in control, not life controlling you. You've been lied to. Society has sold you the idea that freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But that's not freedom. That's weakness. When you live like that, you're a puppet, being pulled by every little urge, every fleeting desire. You wake up late, you eat garbage, you waste hours scrolling through social media, and then you wonder why you're not successful. The truth is, real freedom comes from having the discipline to choose the hard path, to do the things that most people are too weak to do, to put in the work, day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. That's where power is born. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't want to do it. It's showing up, every single day, regardless of how you feel. That's how champions are made. That's how empires are built. You think Marcus Aurelius felt like ruling an empire every day? You think Epictetus, born a slave, felt like training his mind to overcome suffering? They didn't care about feelings. They cared about action. They cared about results. They understood that discipline is what separates the winners from the losers, the strong from the weak, the successful from the mediocre. Here's the kicker. Discipline isn't about having less, it's about getting more. It's about having the life you want, not the life you settle for. Discipline builds structure, and structure builds success. When you discipline your mind, your body, and your actions, you stop wasting time on the irrelevant, and you focus on what moves the needle forward. Without discipline, you're scattered, chaotic, reactive. With discipline, you're focused, relentless, and proactive. You get up before the sun, while everyone else is still asleep, and you work. You outlast, you out-hustle, and you out-discipline everyone around you. That's how you win. Think about it. How many people start strong but fizzle out the moment things get hard? They're motivated for a week, maybe a month, and then the excitement fades, and they quit. Motivation is weak. It's fleeting. But discipline? That's iron. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if it's raining, if you're tired, if you're stressed. Discipline shows up and does the work. No excuses, no complaints. Discipline doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It creates the perfect moment through sheer force of will. When you master discipline, you gain control over yourself, and when you gain control over yourself, you gain control over your life. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start bending circumstances to your will. Look at anyone at the top of their game, athletes, business titans, warriors. They all have one thing in common: relentless discipline. They don't wait for motivation to strike. They don't rely on feelings. They've conditioned themselves to execute no matter what, and that's why they win. You think it's luck? It's not. It's discipline, plain and simple. You've got to understand that every moment you give in to laziness, every time you skip the work, you're training yourself to be weak. Every time you push through, you're training yourself to be unstoppable. It's not about being perfect, it's about being relentless. Discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows stronger the more you use it. You might not feel like waking up early to grind. You might not feel like hitting the gym or working on that project after a long day. But that's exactly when you have to do it, because those are the moments that separate the winners from everyone else. When you do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it, you're building a mindset that can't be broken. This is the Stoic way. The Stoics weren't about grand gestures, they were about consistent, disciplined action. Every day, they trained themselves to be better, sharper, more resilient. Marcus Aurelius didn't become one of history's greatest leaders by waiting for inspiration. He wrote in his meditations about showing up, about doing his duty, regardless of the pain, the fatigue, or the challenges. He understood that discipline was his greatest ally. It's the same for you. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for things to be easy. You grind, you push, you execute. Discipline is about creating systems that guarantee success. You set your routines, you follow your rituals, and you do the work without question. It's about building habits that make success inevitable. You wake up at the same time, you train your body, you sharpen your mind, and you do it all again tomorrow. Because discipline isn't a one-time thing, it's a way of life. It's the daily grind that adds up to greatness. And the best part? Discipline makes life easier in the long run. The more disciplined you are, the more freedom you have. Freedom to pursue your goals, freedom to dominate in your field, freedom to live on your own terms. Without discipline, you're a prisoner to your impulses. You say you want success, but you're too weak to do what it takes. You're distracted by the next shiny object, the next temporary pleasure. But when you're disciplined, those distractions fade. You see the bigger picture. You're focused on the long game. You're building something that lasts, something that can't be taken away from you. If you want to be successful, you need to fall in love with discipline. You need to see it not as a chore but as your greatest ally. Because every moment of discipline is a step closer to freedom. Every workout you complete, every task you finish, every sacrifice you make, it's all building towards something greater. You're not just working for today, you're working for your future, for your legacy. So stop whining about how hard it is. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop waiting for the right time or the right mood. The time is now, and the mood doesn't matter. Discipline is the difference between mediocrity and greatness. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, you're lost. With it, you're unstoppable. This is your moment. Embrace the grind. Embrace the discipline. And watch how quickly your world changes. Reject comfort. Comfort is the enemy of excellence. Comfort is a killer. It creeps into your life, whispers sweet lies about how you've earned a break, how you deserve to relax, how everything's just fine the way it is. But here's the truth. Comfort is the enemy. It dulls your edge, softens your will, and destroys your hunger for more. You can't be comfortable and expect to dominate. You can't be comfortable and expect to rise above the rest. Comfort is where ambition goes to die. You live in a world designed to keep you comfortable. Everything around you is built to make life easier, softer, more convenient. But convenience breeds weakness. Every time you choose comfort, you choose mediocrity. And here's the hard pill you need to swallow. Mediocrity and greatness cannot coexist. You want to achieve something extraordinary? then comfort has no place in your life. The Stoics knew this. They lived in a time where hardship was a way of life, and they embraced it. They didn't just survive discomfort, they sought it out. Because they understood that the road to strength, success, and power is paved with struggle. They practiced voluntary discomfort, a Stoic strategy to build resilience by intentionally exposing themselves to hardship. They knew that living soft makes you weak. So, they conditioned themselves to thrive in the uncomfortable. They embraced the cold, the hunger, the isolation, because they knew it made them stronger. That's a lesson you need to absorb if you're serious about being at the top of your game. Modern life is making you soft, and if you're not careful, it'll destroy your potential. Think about how easy everything is now. Instant gratification at the touch of a button, the ability to have food delivered without leaving your house, entertainment streaming non-stop. It's all designed to keep you in a state of mind-numbing comfort. And while you're sitting there, comfortable, someone else is out there, getting stronger, hungrier, and more dangerous. Comfort isn't just slowing you down, it's robbing you of your greatness. Look at the people who win in life. The elite performers, the ultra-successful. They have one thing in common: they reject comfort. They live in discomfort because they know that's where growth happens. They push their bodies beyond limits, they work through exhaustion, and they thrive in the grind. You think champions take it easy when things get tough? You think the best in the world let comfort rule their lives? Hell no. They don't just face discomfort, they live in it. And that's why they win. You've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. The pain, the struggle, the exhaustion. That's where you find out who you really are. Every time you push yourself beyond what's comfortable, you grow. Every time you face discomfort and keep going, you're building mental and physical toughness that will carry you through when things really get hard. But if you keep running to comfort, keep avoiding the grind, you're setting yourself up to fail when life throws real challenges your way. You won't have the grit to handle it because you've never trained yourself to endure discomfort. Here's the Stoic strategy that will change your life: practice voluntary discomfort. Train yourself to embrace the hard things before life forces them on you. This is about choosing to suffer now so that you're prepared when real hardship comes. Start with the basics. Take cold showers, wake up earlier than you want, fast for a day, walk instead of driving. These are small, simple steps, but they train your mind to deal with discomfort. And the more you train yourself to endure the uncomfortable, the less you fear it. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you learn that pain, struggle, and challenge are your allies, not your enemies. Think about it. How many times have you avoided something hard just because it was uncomfortable? How many opportunities have you missed because the thought of the effort made you hesitate? That hesitation, that avoidance, it's a killer. It's what keeps most people trapped in mediocrity. They'll settle for a life that's good enough, because they're too scared to push through the discomfort required to achieve greatness. But you're different. You have to be. Because if you want to win, you have to stop choosing the easy path. You have to train yourself to crave the challenge, to seek out discomfort like a predator hunting its prey. Look at the greats throughout history. They didn't get there by playing it safe, by sticking to what was comfortable. Warriors, athletes, leaders, they forged their success in the fire of discomfort. Take the Navy SEALs, the ultimate modern-day warriors. Their entire training, Hell Week, is designed to break people. It's designed to push them into a state of extreme discomfort, to see who can survive, who has the mental toughness to endure the unendurable. It's not about physical strength. It's about the ability to keep going when your body, your mind, and every instinct is screaming at you to stop. That's the kind of grit you need to develop, and the only way to get there is by rejecting comfort at every turn. You want success? Then you need to train yourself to thrive in discomfort. You need to wake up early, Train harder than everyone else, work longer, push yourself further than your competition. And when your body begs for rest, when your mind starts whispering that you've done enough, that you can take it easy now, you keep going. You push past that point because that's where the growth happens. That's where you become the kind of person who doesn't just survive the struggle, but dominates it. Comfort will try to lure you back, every day, with its false promises of ease and relaxation. But you need to remember this. Comfort is poison. It might feel good in the moment, but it's killing your potential, your ambition, your edge. Every time you choose comfort, you're choosing to stay the same. You're choosing mediocrity. And if that's the life you want, then go ahead and settle. But if you want more, if you want to rise above the masses, if you want to live like a warrior in a world full of sheep, then you need to reject comfort with every fiber of your being. Make no mistake, comfort will always be there, tempting you, offering you an easy way out. But the easy way leads nowhere. The hard way? That's where you'll find greatness. That's where you'll forge an unbreakable will, an unshakable mindset, and a body that can endure anything. You've got to harden yourself, mentally and physically, to thrive in discomfort. And the more you do it, the more you'll realize that discomfort is not the enemy, it's your ally. It's the thing that sharpens you, hones you, and prepares you to dominate in a world that's always trying to soften you. So, the next time comfort whispers in your ear, the next time you feel the urge to take it easy, remember this. Comfort is the enemy. Reject it. Choose discomfort. Choose the grind, because the hard path is the path to greatness. And if you can learn to love it, there's nothing in this world that can stop you. Self-mastery, the power of controlling your desires. Let me make this clear. If you can't control yourself, you control nothing. And that's the harsh truth most people refuse to face. You want power? You want success? It all starts with mastering yourself, specifically, your desires. Desires are like chains. They'll bind you, they'll control you, and if you don't break free from them, you'll never rise to your full potential. The world is full of distractions, temptations, and vices designed to keep you weak. But here's the kicker. The man who controls his desires controls his destiny. The weak chase pleasure like dogs chasing their own tails. They run after money, status, comfort, validation, thinking that those things will fulfill them. And every time, they come up empty. You know why? Because they're letting their desires control them. They're slaves to their impulses, and they don't even realize it. But not you. You've got to be different. If you're serious about success, you've got to learn the art of self-mastery, dominating your desires, not letting them dominate you. This is what separates the powerful from the powerless. Let's look at the Stoics. They understood this principle better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, wrote constantly about the need to control your desires. Think about that. He had everything: wealth, power, luxury. And yet, he still preached about the dangers of being ruled by desire. Why? Because he knew that even with the world at his feet, true power came from within. It came from saying no to fleeting pleasures and staying focused on the bigger picture. That's the lesson here. Self-mastery is the foundation of true power. Most people have no idea how much their desires control them. They don't even see the chains they're wearing. They think they're free, but they're not. They're addicted to instant gratification, chasing dopamine hits through food, entertainment, social media, and whatever else numbs the discomfort of reality. They lack discipline. They lack self-control. They're living on autopilot, slaves to their cravings. And that's exactly why they're stuck. You think that kind of behavior leads to success? It leads to mediocrity at best, and destruction at worst. The Stoics had a term for this: ataraxia, inner peace, freedom from disturbance. But here's the thing. That kind of peace doesn't come from indulging every desire that pops into your head. It comes from controlling those desires, from mastering them. It comes from being able to say no to what's easy and yes to what's necessary. When you can do that, you're operating on a different level. You're no longer controlled by the external. You're in charge of yourself, and that's the most powerful place to be. Here's the reality. Desires will always be there. You'll always want more money, more success, more comfort. But the question is, can you control those desires? Can you delay gratification in pursuit of something greater? Can you say no to what's easy now so that you can have what's extraordinary later? Most people can't, and that's why most people fail. They give in at the first sign of discomfort. They'd rather have a moment of pleasure than a lifetime of greatness. But that's not you. You're aiming higher. You want more out of life, and that means mastering yourself first. Let's talk about real-world application. Look around you. Everything is designed to seduce you into giving in to your desires. Advertising, social media, entertainment, all of it is engineered to make you crave, to make you consume. If you're not careful, you'll spend your entire life chasing things that don't matter, wasting your time, energy, and focus on garbage that does nothing but make you weaker. You have to be ruthless with yourself. You have to cut out the distractions, the temptations, the things that drag you down. And that's not easy, but it's the price of greatness. Self-mastery isn't about denying yourself forever. It's about knowing when to say yes and when to say no. It's about controlling your impulses, not letting them control you. It's about being the master of your mind, not its servant. Most people think freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. But that's not freedom, that's chaos. True freedom comes from discipline, from control, from being able to direct your actions in alignment with your goals. When you master yourself, you're no longer a victim of your desires. You're in the driver's seat, steering your life where you want it to go. Let me give you an example. Think about the most successful people in any field. Do you think they achieved greatness by indulging their every desire? Hell no. They sacrificed. They said no to distractions. They focused on their goals with laser precision, cutting out everything that didn't serve them. That's the mindset you need. You need to become so focused on your mission that your desires don't even register. You don't have time for fleeting pleasures because you're too busy building something that lasts. Here's the Stoic mindset. Control what you can control. And the one thing you always control is yourself. You control your actions, your reactions, your desires. You might not be able to control the world around you, but you can control how you respond to it. And when you master that, you're already ahead of 99% of the population. Most people let life happen to them. They react to whatever comes their way, driven by impulse, emotion, and desire. But you're different. You decide how life unfolds by controlling what's within you. This isn't easy, and it's not supposed to be. Mastering your desires is a lifelong battle. There will always be temptations, always be distractions trying to pull you off course. But every time you say no to the things that don't matter, you're strengthening your will, sharpening your focus, and building the kind of resilience that leads to success. You're teaching yourself that you're in control, that you're the master, not the slave. And that's what separates the strong from the weak. Think about it like this. Every time you indulge a desire that doesn't serve your greater purpose, you're trading long-term success for short-term pleasure. You're choosing to stay where you are rather than move toward where you want to be. But every time you resist, every time you focus on the long game, you're investing in your future, in your greatness. And that's the mindset you need to adopt if you're serious about winning. Master your desires, and you'll master your world. You'll become unstoppable, because nothing will be able to pull you off track. The distractions, the temptations, the noise of the world, They'll all fade into the background as you march relentlessly toward your goals. And when you reach them, when you look back at the path you've taken, you'll realize that the greatest victory wasn't over the external challenges. It was over yourself. Overcome weakness. Why emotional strength wins the game. Let's get one thing straight. Emotional weakness is the greatest threat to your success. You can be physically strong, you can be smart, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're emotionally weak, you're done. Emotional strength is what separates those who thrive from those who crumble when life hits hard. Life doesn't care about your feelings, your anxieties, or your doubts. It's going to punch you in the mouth over and over again, and if you don't toughen up emotionally, you'll break every time. The world is full of people who are emotionally weak. They can't handle criticism, they fall apart under pressure, and they let their emotions rule their lives. These are the people who get passed over for promotions, who quit when things get tough, and who spend their lives blaming everything and everyone but themselves. And the truth is, the only person who can toughen you up emotionally is you. It starts with you deciding to stop letting your emotions dictate your actions. You don't get to whine. You don't get to complain. You don't get to break. You get up, and you move forward. That's what winners do. The Stoics were masters at emotional control. They understood that emotions are powerful, but they also knew that letting emotions dictate your decisions is a recipe for disaster. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, faced constant pressure, betrayal, and war. He had every reason to lose his cool, to lash out, to fall apart. But he didn't. He stayed calm, composed, and focused because he understood that emotional weakness would destroy him and the empire he was responsible for. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's what you need to internalize. You can't control what happens, but you can control how you react. And when you master that, you become unstoppable. Emotional strength isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about acknowledging them and then choosing how you're going to respond. Fear, anger, sadness. These emotions will come, no matter how strong you are. But the difference between the weak and the strong is that the strong don't let those emotions control them. They feel the fear and move forward anyway. They feel the anger but don't let it cloud their judgment. They acknowledge the sadness but refuse to let it derail their progress. That's emotional strength, dominating your emotions, not being dominated by them. Look at the world today. People are more emotionally fragile than ever. They let small inconveniences ruin their day. They're quick to take offense, quick to complain, quick to give up. This is weakness, plain and simple. And it's the kind of weakness that keeps people stuck in mediocrity. If you want to be successful, if you want to dominate in life, you need to harden yourself emotionally. You need to become unshakable in the face of adversity, because trust me, adversity is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The difference between winners and losers is that winners don't break when life gets tough. They get stronger. Emotional strength is your shield against the chaos of life. It's what allows you to keep your head when everyone else is losing theirs. It's what allows you to make rational decisions when the weak are acting out of fear or anger. The Stoics knew that life was unpredictable, full of suffering, and often unfair. But they also knew that the only way to rise above that was to stay emotionally grounded, no matter what happened. They practiced apathy, not in the sense of not caring, but in the sense of not letting external events dictate their internal state. That's the kind of emotional armor you need to build if you want to thrive in this world. Think about the last time you faced a real challenge. How did you react? Did you panic? Did you get angry? Did you let your emotions take control and make things worse? Or did you stay calm, assess the situation, and move forward with clarity? That's the test of emotional strength. When things go wrong, and they will, you need to be the calm in the storm. While everyone else is freaking out, you stay focused. While others are drowning in their emotions, you rise above them. That's what gives you the edge. Here's the thing. Emotional strength is a skill. It's something you can develop through practice and discipline. The Stoics trained themselves daily to build emotional resilience. They practiced negative visualization, imagining the worst-case scenarios so that when those situations actually happened, they wouldn't be caught off guard. They'd already faced those challenges mentally, so they were prepared to face them physically. You need to do the same. Prepare your mind for the worst, and when the worst comes, you'll be ready. Another Stoic practice is premeditatio malorum, preparing for the bad. It's not about being pessimistic, it's about being realistic. You know challenges are coming, so instead of avoiding the thought, you face it head on. This way, you harden yourself emotionally before adversity hits. And when it does hit, you've already fortified your mind. You won't be surprised, and you won't be overwhelmed. You'll stay calm, stay strong, and keep moving forward. The world isn't going to go easy on you. Life is going to throw curveballs, betrayal, failure, rejection, loss. Emotional weakness will make you crumble under that weight. But emotional strength? That's what will allow you to carry it and keep moving. And the more you carry, the stronger you get. Every challenge you face is a test of your emotional fortitude. The more you pass these tests, the more unshakable you become. But here's the harsh reality. Emotional strength doesn't come easy. It's forged in the fire of adversity. You have to go through the pain, the struggle, the discomfort to build that kind of strength. But once you have it, once you've trained yourself to rise above your emotions, there's nothing that can break you. You'll have the emotional resilience to face any challenge head-on, without flinching. And that's what will set you apart from everyone else. So, how do you build emotional strength? You start by confronting your emotions, not running from them. You start by putting yourself in uncomfortable situations on purpose, testing yourself, hardening yourself. When you feel fear, you don't back down. When you feel anger, you don't lash out. When you feel overwhelmed, you don't give up. You take control of your emotional state, and you make sure your emotions serve you, not the other way around. This is your edge. Emotional strength is the ultimate competitive advantage because most people don't have it. They let their feelings run their lives, and that's why they never get ahead. You, on the other hand, are going to master your emotions, and when you do, you'll find that there's nothing life can throw at you that you can't handle. You'll face the chaos with clarity, the adversity with resolve, and you'll come out on top every single time. That's the power of emotional strength, and that's why, in the end, it's the only game that matters. Defeat negativity. Crush self-doubt and limitations. Here's the cold truth. Negativity is poison. It's a virus that infects your mind, and if you let it, it will rot you from the inside out. Most people let negativity rule their lives. They're filled with self-doubt, they limit themselves, and they live in fear of failure. That's why they never achieve greatness. You need to understand this right now. Your mind is either your greatest asset or your worst enemy, and it all depends on what you allow to take root there. If you're serious about success, you have to crush negativity and self-doubt without mercy. Negativity is weakness, plain and simple. Every time you let negative thoughts creep into your mind, you're giving away your power. You're allowing doubt, fear, and excuses to take over. And what happens when you let negativity in? You start playing small. You start second-guessing yourself. You stop taking risks, and you convince yourself that you're not capable of more. That's how negativity wins, by shrinking you into something less than you were meant to be. But here's the thing. You don't have to let it. You have the power to control your mind, to shut down the negative voices, and to eliminate doubt. The Stoics knew the power of the mind. They understood that the way you think shapes the way you live. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." That's not some feel-good platitude, it's a fact. If you allow negative thoughts to dominate your mind, you're going to live a negative life. But if you take control of your thoughts, if you refuse to let negativity take root, you can create the life you want. It all starts in your head. Self-doubt is one of the most toxic forms of negativity. It's the voice that tells you you're not good enough, that you're not ready, that you'll never make it. It's the voice that stops you before you even start. And here's the kicker. Self-doubt is a lie. It's a story you tell yourself to stay safe, to avoid risk, to protect yourself from failure. But that's the exact reason why you're not where you want to be. You're playing it safe. You're letting doubt dictate your actions. And as long as you keep listening to that voice, you'll stay stuck. Success demands risk. It demands stepping into the unknown and betting on yourself, even when you're scared. Self-doubt is the enemy of all of that. So how do you defeat it? How do you crush negativity and self-doubt for good? You stop giving them power. You stop entertaining those thoughts. When negativity creeps in, you shut it down immediately. You don't argue with it, you don't negotiate with it, you destroy it. You replace it with confidence, with certainty, with action. Every time your mind tries to tell you that you're not good enough, you counter that with proof of your strength, your discipline, and your capability. You remind yourself of the battles you've already won, the struggles you've already overcome. That's how you build unshakable self-belief. The Stoics had a principle called cognitive distancing, separating yourself from your thoughts and seeing them for what they are. Just thoughts, not reality. You're not your thoughts. Your negative thoughts, your doubts, your fears, they're just noise. You have the power to choose which thoughts you give attention to and which ones you discard. Most people don't realize this. They think that just because a thought enters their mind, it must be true. That's a lie. Your thoughts are not facts. They're just impulses, reactions to external events, often influenced by fear and insecurity. The Stoic approach? Detach from them, observe them, and then choose the thoughts that serve you, the thoughts that propel you forward. You can't afford to waste time dwelling on negative thoughts. Every second you spend in doubt, fear, or negativity is a second you're not moving forward. That's time wasted. That's opportunity lost. And the most dangerous thing about negativity is that it compounds. The more you entertain negative thoughts, the more they grow. It's like a cancer. But the good news is, the same is true for positive thoughts. The more you focus on your strengths, on your goals, on your vision for success, the more that mindset grows. It's a matter of what you feed. Feed your mind with positivity, with confidence, with power, and watch how your life changes. Negativity is addictive. There's a reason most people default to negative thinking. It's easy. It's comfortable to sit there and tell yourself why things won't work out, why you're not capable, why life is hard. But that's the lazy way. The hard way, the Stoic way, is to train your mind to focus on what you can do, on what you can control, on why you will win. It takes discipline to think like a winner, but that discipline is what separates the strong from the weak. You need to adopt a zero-tolerance policy for negativity in your life. That means cutting out not just your own negative thoughts, but also the negative influences around you. You know the type. The people who are always complaining, always making excuses, always doubting you and themselves. These people are toxic. They spread negativity like a virus, and if you're not careful, they'll drag you down with them. You need to distance yourself from these people, just like you distance yourself from negative thoughts. Surround yourself with people who push you, who challenge you, who inspire you to be better. That's how you create an environment where negativity can't survive. Look, the path to success is hard enough without dragging the weight of negativity along with you. You don't need that. You need clarity. You need focus. You need a mindset that's relentless, one that doesn't entertain excuses, doubt, or fear. And that's something you have to build every day. It's a muscle, just like discipline, and the more you train it, the stronger it gets. One of the most powerful Stoic practices for defeating negativity is what's called amor fati, the love of fate. This means accepting everything that happens to you as necessary for your growth and success. It means seeing every challenge, every setback, not as a problem, but as an opportunity to get stronger. When you adopt this mindset, negativity has no place in your life. Why? Because there's no such thing as a bad event anymore. Everything that happens, whether you win or lose, whether things go your way or not, is just another part of the process. It's all fuel for your growth. When you truly embrace this, negativity dies. There's no room for it. You see everything as a stepping stone to your ultimate success. Self-doubt? It gets crushed because you no longer see failure as a threat. You see it as a tool, a necessary part of the journey. Fear? Gone. Because you know that whatever happens, you'll adapt, you'll overcome, you'll win. That's the mindset of someone who dominates. That's the mindset you need to cultivate every single day. In the end, defeating negativity is about control, controlling your thoughts, your environment, and your reactions. It's about refusing to let anything or anyone make you feel less than capable of achieving your goals. You are in control of your mind. You are in control of your destiny. And the moment you fully embrace that, the moment you crush negativity under your boot, is the moment you set yourself free to achieve anything you want. You're capable of more than you know, but you'll never reach that potential if you let negativity hold you back. So make the decision today, right now, that negativity has no place in your life. Crush the doubt, kill the fear, and step into the power that comes from knowing you can, and will, dominate whatever comes your way. Relentless focus. Mastering the present moment for maximum results. Let me tell you something that most people refuse to accept. The present moment is all you've got. The past? It's gone. The future? It's not here yet. All that matters is what you do right now. That's the secret. And the reason most people fail in life is because they're either stuck dwelling on the past or obsessing over the future. They're distracted. They lack focus. And that's why they never get anywhere. Success demands one thing above all else: relentless focus. If you can't master the present moment, if you can't direct your energy with laser precision, you're wasting your potential. You're handing over your life to distractions and excuses. The Stoics were obsessed with mastering the present. They understood that the only moment that matters is the one you're in. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful leaders in history, said, "Confine yourself to the present." Why? Because he knew that greatness is built in the now, not in the regrets of yesterday or the hopes of tomorrow. What are you doing now to push forward? What are you doing now to win? Because if you're not fully engaged with the present, you're losing. It's that simple. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Your phone, social media, endless entertainment, it's all designed to steal your attention, to fragment your focus, to keep you from putting in the work that matters. And the more distracted you are, the weaker you become. The world thrives on making you a consumer, on keeping you passive, on keeping you unfocused. If you can't guard your focus like your life depends on it, because it does, you'll never reach the levels of success you're capable of. Distraction is the enemy. Focus is your weapon. What does it mean to have relentless focus? It means showing up every single day, fully locked in, ready to attack your goals. It means cutting out the noise, eliminating the things that waste your time, and zeroing in on what really moves the needle. Most people think they're being productive just because they're busy. They're wrong. Busyness is not progress. Progress comes from concentrated, focused effort on the things that truly matter. If you want to win, You need to know the difference between being busy and being effective. You need to cut through the nonsense and focus on the tasks that lead to results. Let's get real. You know what you need to be doing. You know the steps you need to take to get where you want to go. But you let distractions pull you off course. You let the little things, checking your phone, scrolling through meaningless content, getting caught up in other people's drama, steal your time. And then you wonder why you're not making progress. Every time you give in to distraction, you're choosing failure over success. Harsh? Maybe, but it's the truth. The Stoics practiced mindfulness long before it became a buzzword. They trained themselves to be fully present, to give their full attention to whatever was in front of them, whether it was leading an army, writing philosophy, or engaging in conversation. And this wasn't just some philosophical ideal, it was a practical tool for success. When you're fully engaged in the present, you perform better. You make better decisions. You execute with precision. And that's the key to achieving extraordinary results. You need to develop the discipline to master the present moment, and it starts with cutting out the unnecessary. You think the top performers in the world spend their days distracted by nonsense? You think they waste time scrolling through their feeds or getting sucked into meaningless debates? No, they guard their time and attention fiercely. They focus relentlessly on their craft, their goals, their mission. That's why they're at the top. And that's the mindset you need to adopt if you're serious about winning in life. Focus is a muscle, and just like any other muscle, you have to train it. Every time you catch yourself drifting into distraction, bring yourself back. Every time you feel the urge to procrastinate, shut it down and get back to work. The more you do this, the stronger your focus becomes. You'll find that the more disciplined you are with your attention, the more progress you make. And here's the secret. When you master focus, you get more done in less time. While everyone else is wasting hours, you're moving mountains. While they're complaining about how hard it is to concentrate, you're already miles ahead. Most people are reactive. They let life pull them in every direction, constantly shifting their attention based on what's happening around them. That's weakness. If you want to dominate, you need to be proactive. You need to decide where your attention goes and refuse to let anything pull you off course. You need to own your time and own your focus. This isn't just about work. It's about life. When you're with your family, be with them, not checking your phone. When you're working on a project, immerse yourself completely in it, not thinking about what's next. When you're training, push yourself with 100% intensity, not worrying about tomorrow's workout. This is how you build mastery in every area of life, by being fully present in each moment. But let me tell you something that most people don't understand. Focus isn't just about eliminating distractions. It's also about eliminating doubt. If your mind is full of self-doubt, second-guessing, and indecision, you're just as distracted as if you were scrolling through social media. Doubt is one of the biggest enemies of focus. It pulls you out of the moment, makes you hesitate, and weakens your ability to execute. The Stoics were masters of cutting through doubt. They practiced decisiveness, making clear, confident decisions and then fully committing to them. That's what you need to do. Make a decision, and then focus all your energy on making it work. No hesitation, no second guessing. So how do you train yourself to focus relentlessly? Start small. Start by giving your full attention to whatever task is in front of you, even if it's something as simple as a conversation. Don't let your mind wander. Train yourself to be fully engaged. Then apply that same level of focus to your work, your goals, your mission. Every time you catch yourself drifting, pull yourself back. Over time, you'll develop the ability to lock in, to block out the noise, and to give everything you've got to the task at hand. Focus also requires clarity. You need to know exactly what you're working towards. You need to have a clear vision of your goals, your mission, your purpose. Without clarity, you're just spinning your wheels. You're busy, but you're not moving forward. Get clear on what you want, and then focus relentlessly on achieving it. Anything that doesn't serve that goal? Cut it out. Ruthlessly eliminate anything that wastes your time or pulls you off course. Here's the bottom line. Relentless focus is the key to winning. The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who try to do everything. They're the ones who are laser focused on doing a few things with absolute excellence. They guard their attention, they reject distractions, and they stay locked in on their goals, no matter what. That's the mindset of a champion. And that's the mindset you need to develop if you want to rise to the top. So here's your challenge. From this moment on, commit to mastering the present. Refuse to let distractions or doubt steal your focus. Give your full attention to the task at hand, no matter how big or small. Train your mind to stay locked in, even when the world is trying to pull you in 1,000 different directions. This is how you create success. This is how you build a life of power and purpose. Relentless focus. Every day, every moment. Because the present is all you've got, and if you master it, you'll master everything else. Own your fate. How to create a future that bows to you. Let's get something straight. Fate isn't some external force that dictates your life. It's not the universe deciding your destiny. Fate is what you create with your actions, your mindset, and your decisions. Most people walk around like victims, acting like life is happening to them. They blame their circumstances, their upbringing, the economy, whatever excuse they can latch onto. But that's weakness. If you want to win, you need to own your fate completely. It's not something that happens to you, it's something you take control of. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't believe in waiting for life to hand them opportunities. They believed in taking action, in controlling what they could, and in accepting responsibility for their lives, no matter the circumstances. That's the Stoic superpower, realizing that you are responsible for your fate. Not luck, not chance, not fate in the mythical sense, you. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can start shaping your future into exactly what you want it to be. You've got to stop acting like life is outside your control. It's not. The reason you're not where you want to be is because you haven't decided to take full ownership of your life. You've been drifting, reacting, making excuses. But here's the reality. Your life is your responsibility, period. Every decision you make, every action you take, or don't take, shapes the path you're on. If you don't like where you are, it's on you to change it. No one else is going to do it for you. That's the power of owning your fate. You get to decide what happens next. The Stoics lived by a concept called amor fati, which means love of fate. But don't get it twisted, it's not about being passive or accepting your lot in life with resignation. It's about embracing everything that happens to you, good or bad, as part of the journey that makes you stronger, sharper, and better. You don't resist what happens, you use it. You adapt, you move forward, but you don't sit around waiting for life to get easier. You take action, you make decisions, and you create your own opportunities. Think about this. How much time have you wasted complaining about things outside your control? The economy sucks, your boss is unfair, your family doesn't support you. So what? Complaining about those things doesn't change anything. You can't control what other people do or how the world operates, but you can control how you react. And that's where your power lies. The more time you spend focusing on things you can't control, the more powerless you feel. But the more you focus on what's within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your habits, the more powerful you become. Here's the truth. Life is going to throw challenges at you. That's guaranteed. You're going to face setbacks, failures, rejections, and unfair circumstances. But none of that defines you. What defines you is how you respond. Do you crumble? Do you blame others? Or do you step up and take responsibility for your life, no matter how hard it gets? Owning your fate means embracing everything that comes your way and using it to your advantage. You don't get to choose what happens, but you get to choose how you respond. And that's the ultimate power. The problem with most people is that they're waiting for someone else to save them. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment, the perfect break. That's not how life works. If you're sitting around waiting for things to line up perfectly, you're going to be waiting forever. Winners don't wait for permission. They take what they want. They create their own opportunities. They shape their fate with their actions, not by hoping for things to fall into place. Take a look at the most successful people in the world. Do you think they got there by sitting around, waiting for life to hand them a break? Absolutely not. They took control. They owned their fate. They saw opportunities where others saw obstacles. They made decisions when others hesitated. They pushed forward when others gave up. And that's exactly what you need to do if you want to create a future that bows to you. You need to start thinking about your life like a chess game. Every move you make either puts you in a better position or a worse one. The people who succeed in life aren't lucky. They're strategic. They think ahead, they make calculated moves, and they don't waste time on things that don't get them closer to their goals. Owning your fate is about playing the long game. It's about understanding that every decision you make today is shaping your tomorrow. So stop making decisions based on what feels good in the moment, and start making decisions based on where you want to be in the future. The Stoics believed in taking action, not just reacting to life as it happens. You need to do the same. If you're not happy with where you are, what are you doing about it? If you want more out of life, what steps are you taking to get there? Complaining doesn't count. Wishing doesn't count. Only action matters. You need to stop thinking about what you don't have, what's going wrong, or what might go wrong, and start focusing on what you can do right now to move forward. Action is the antidote to everything. Action is what shapes your fate. Here's another thing. Owning your fate means taking full responsibility for your failures. Most people are quick to take credit for their successes, but even quicker to blame others for their failures. That's not how winners operate. If something goes wrong, own it. Learn from it, adjust, and then get back in the game. Failure is part of the process. It's how you learn, how you grow, how you get better. But you have to be willing to take responsibility for it. You can't pass the blame to someone else or to circumstances. When you own your fate, you own your failures too. That's how you turn them into fuel for your next move. Stop living like life is something that happens to you. Life is something you create. It's time to take full control. Stop letting circumstances, other people, or fear dictate your actions. You decide what happens next. You decide where you're going. That's the mindset of someone who owns their fate, someone who understands that everything is in their hands, and they wouldn't have it any other way. So here's what you need to do. Start making decisions today that move you closer to where you want to be. Stop waiting for things to happen, and start making things happen. Take responsibility for everything in your life, your successes, your failures, your future. You are where you are right now because of the decisions you've made, and where you'll be tomorrow depends on the decisions you make today. The power is in your hands, whether you want to admit it or not. Own your fate, and the world will bow to you. Remember, fate isn't something that's written for you, it's something you write with your actions. And the pen is in your hand. Now, what are you going to do with it? Crushing challenges with Stoic power moves. Challenges are inevitable. There's no escaping them. You're going to face obstacles, setbacks, failures, and competition that tries to knock you down. But here's the difference between you and everyone else. While others crumble under pressure, you're going to thrive. Challenges aren't something to be feared, they're opportunities in disguise. The Stoics knew this, and they developed a mindset that allowed them to not only survive challenges but to crush them. If you want to dominate in life, you need to adopt this mindset and approach every obstacle as a chance to prove your strength. The weak run from challenges. They see difficulty and make excuses. They give up, retreat, and complain about how unfair life is. That's pathetic. A challenge is a gift. It's a chance to rise above the ordinary, to sharpen your skills, to build mental toughness. You want success? Then you better learn to love the grind. Every challenge you face is a stepping stone to your ultimate victory. And if you're not willing to step up and face the grind head-on, you'll never rise above mediocrity. The Stoics had a principle called obstacle is the way. It means that every obstacle in your path is not a roadblock, it's the path itself. You don't go around it, you go through it. That's how you grow. That's how you build resilience. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the mindset you need to adopt. Every time life throws a challenge at you, it's not a reason to stop. It's a reason to push harder. The obstacle isn't in your way, it is the way. Here's the reality. The people who win in life aren't the ones who avoid challenges. They're the ones who face them, crush them, and turn them into stepping stones for even greater success. While the weak complain about how hard it is, the strong put their heads down and do the work. It's not about avoiding difficulty, it's about embracing it. Challenges are what separate the average from the elite. If you want to be elite, you need to stop running from the grind and start running towards it. The Stoics taught that challenges aren't personal. Life isn't picking on you. Challenges are just part of the process. The sooner you stop taking them personally, the sooner you'll be able to face them with clarity and strength. Too many people crumble because they think the universe is out to get them. They think they're unlucky, that life is unfair. But life is unfair to everyone. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't luck, it's mindset. The winners don't waste time complaining about how hard it is. They expect it to be hard. They know that challenges are part of the game, and they train themselves to handle them without flinching. Here's the key to crushing challenges. It's all about perception. Most people see a challenge and think, "Why me?" But the Stoic looks at that same challenge and thinks, "Good. Let's go." You've got to reframe the way you see obstacles. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to test yourself, to get better. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward. If you can train your mind to see obstacles as opportunities, you become unstoppable. Nothing can break you because you're no longer avoiding difficulty, you're seeking it out. Let's talk strategy. How do you actually crush the challenges life throws at you? First, you've got to detach emotionally. Most people let emotions cloud their judgment when things get tough. They panic, they get frustrated, and they make poor decisions. You can't afford to be emotionally reactive. When you face a challenge, you need to step back and look at it logically. The Stoics practiced emotional detachment. They didn't let their emotions control their actions. Instead, they analyzed the situation calmly and rationally, and then made a plan. That's what you need to do. When a challenge arises, don't react emotionally. Step back, assess the situation, and figure out the best way forward. Next, break the challenge down. Too often, people get overwhelmed because they're looking at the challenge as one massive, insurmountable obstacle. But the truth is, no challenge is too big when you break it down into smaller, manageable parts. This is the power of focus. Don't think about the entire mountain you have to climb, just focus on the next step. And then the next, and then the next. Before you know it, you've crushed what once seemed impossible. This is the Stoic approach. Don't get overwhelmed by the size of the challenge. Stay focused on the present moment, on the task at hand, and keep moving forward. Another key to crushing challenges is to maintain relentless consistency. Too many people start strong but fizzle out when the challenge drags on. They lose momentum, they lose discipline, and they quit before they reach the finish line. The Stoics believed in steady, consistent action. They didn't rely on motivation or inspiration to keep them going. They relied on discipline. You need to adopt the same approach. When things get tough, keep pushing. When you don't feel like it, keep going. Consistency over time is what destroys obstacles. It's not about one massive effort. It's about showing up day after day, grinding through the challenge until it's done. The final piece of the puzzle is adaptability. Challenges rarely unfold the way you expect them to. Life is unpredictable, and if you're not flexible, you'll break under the pressure. The Stoics taught that adaptability is one of the most important traits for success. You've got to be able to adjust on the fly, to pivot when things don't go as planned. When you face a challenge, have a plan, but be ready to adapt when necessary. The path to success is never straight, but as long as you keep moving forward, adapting to whatever comes your way, you'll reach your destination. Now, let's talk about competition. Life is full of it. Whether it's in business, sports, or personal relationships, you're going to face people who want the same thing you do. They want to win. They want the success you're after. And they're not going to hand it to you. But here's the thing. Competition is a gift. It pushes you to be better. It forces you to level up. Without competition, you'd get complacent. You'd start to slack off. But when you're up against someone else who's just as hungry as you, it brings out the best in you. So don't fear competition, embrace it. Use it as fuel to sharpen your edge. When you face competition, you need to have the mindset that you're going to outlast, outwork, and outsmart them. You might not be the most talented, the most skilled, or the most experienced, but you can always be the most relentless. While they're sleeping, you're working. While they're doubting themselves, you're pushing harder. The Stoics understood that persistence is one of the most powerful tools in the face of adversity. Most people quit before they even have a chance to win. You're going to keep going long after everyone else has given up. In the end, crushing challenges is about mindset. It's about seeing every obstacle as an opportunity, every setback as a chance to grow. The Stoics faced challenges that would break most people: war, exile, betrayal, but they didn't flinch. They saw these challenges as part of the process. And because they embraced the struggle, they came out stronger. You need to do the same. Stop fearing the challenges in front of you. Stop running from the grind. Embrace it, love it, because every challenge you face is another step toward your ultimate success. The obstacle is the way. And the stronger you get at facing those obstacles, the more unstoppable you become. So, when life throws challenges at you, whether it's a personal setback, professional competition, or a physical test, meet them head on. Crush them with calm, calculated action. Adapt, stay consistent, and never give up. That's how you dominate. That's how you win. It's not about avoiding the grind, it's about loving it. You were built for this. Now go out there and prove it. The Stoics' Code of Winning: Building an Unstoppable Legacy. Let's get one thing straight. Winning isn't just about success in the moment. It's about building something that lasts. It's about creating a legacy so powerful, so unshakable, that even after you're gone, your impact lives on. Most people are playing for short-term victories, chasing immediate gratification and quick wins. But that's not real success. Real success is about leaving a mark, something that endures long after the applause fades. If you're serious about dominating in life, you need to be playing the long game. You need to be thinking about how you can build a legacy that's bulletproof. The Stoics weren't concerned with temporary fame or momentary wins. They were focused on principles, values, and actions that stood the test of time. That's why we still talk about them today. Their philosophy wasn't about making a quick buck or getting a few accolades. It was about creating something that mattered, something that could guide, inspire, and strengthen generations to come. That's the Stoics' code of winning. Building an unstoppable legacy through disciplined action, integrity, and relentless pursuit of excellence. Here's the first rule. Your legacy starts with who you are, not what you have. Too many people measure success by the wrong metrics: money, cars, followers, fame. None of that lasts. What lasts is the strength of your character, the impact you make, and the example you set for others to follow. That's what the Stoics understood. Marcus Aurelius wasn't concerned with the trappings of power. He was focused on leading with wisdom, courage, and justice. He knew that his actions, not his possessions, would define his legacy. And that's exactly how you need to approach your life. Winning in the long game means you have to lead with integrity, even when no one is watching. You've got to live by your principles, by your values, and by the truth. You can cut corners, take shortcuts, and get some quick wins by being dishonest or manipulative, but that's not how real winners operate. The Stoics taught that you should act in a way that, no matter what happens, you can look yourself in the mirror and be proud of the choices you've made. That's where real strength comes from. Integrity is the foundation of an unstoppable legacy. Think about it. What kind of impact do you want to leave behind? Do you want to be remembered as someone who made decisions based on what was easy or what was right? Do you want people to talk about you as someone who was ruthless but respected, or someone who was feared and forgotten? The choices you make now are laying the bricks for your legacy. Every action you take, every word you speak, every principle you uphold is a reflection of the person you are becoming. If you're serious about winning, you need to start thinking long-term. You need to start asking yourself, how will this decision impact my legacy? The Stoics believed that true success came from living in accordance with nature, which for them meant living virtuously, acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. These virtues weren't just ideals to admire, they were the blueprint for building a life that mattered. And here's the thing. The world might not always reward you for living virtuously, at least not immediately. You might face setbacks, challenges, or even failure. But in the long run, those who live by their principles always win. Why? Because they're playing the long game. They're building a foundation that can't be shaken by temporary defeats. You've got to stop thinking in terms of today or tomorrow. Stop thinking about how to get a win this week or this month. Start thinking about how to create something that lasts for decades, something that echoes long after you're gone. That's the real challenge. Most people can't handle it because they're addicted to instant gratification. But you're going to play at a higher level. You're going to focus on building a legacy, and that means you're going to make decisions based on what's right, not what's easy. But here's the truth. Building an unstoppable legacy isn't just about what you do, it's about how you live. It's about living with relentless discipline, every single day. You don't get to take days off. You don't get to slack off because no one's watching. Winners operate with the same intensity whether they're in the spotlight or working in silence. The Stoics lived with discipline because they knew that every moment mattered. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations about how every day was an opportunity to act with purpose and integrity, even if it went unnoticed. That's how you build a legacy, through consistent, disciplined action, day in and day out. You need to be relentless in your pursuit of excellence. Mediocrity has no place in the life of someone who's building a legacy. You don't do things halfway. You don't settle for good enough. You push yourself to be better, stronger, and sharper every day. Excellence isn't a destination, it's a mindset. And when you adopt that mindset, when you demand the best from yourself in every situation, you're not just building success for today. You're building a legacy that will stand the test of time. But let's get real. Building a legacy means you're going to face resistance. You're going to face competition, setbacks, and failure. That's part of the process. But the Stoics taught that adversity is necessary for growth. It's the challenges that refine you, that sharpen you, that test your resolve. If you want to create something unbreakable, you've got to be willing to go through the fire. You've got to embrace the struggle, knowing that it's shaping you into the kind of person who can handle whatever comes next. And here's another truth. Your legacy isn't just about you. It's about the impact you have on the people around you. It's about how you inspire others to be better, how you lead by example, how you lift others up in the process. The Stoics didn't just live for themselves, they lived for the greater good. They believed in using their power, wisdom, and influence to help others, to contribute to society, and to leave the world better than they found it. That's what true winners do. They don't just focus on their own success, they lift others as they rise. That's how you build a legacy that matters. So, what's your plan? How are you going to build an unstoppable legacy? It starts with living by your principles, with demanding excellence from yourself every single day. It starts with being relentless in your pursuit of greatness, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. It starts with leading by example, lifting others up, and contributing something meaningful to the world. You're not just here to win, you're here to build something that lasts. Here's the bottom line. Anyone can win in the short term. Anyone can get a temporary victory. But the real test of greatness is whether you can build something that endures. Whether you can live in such a way that people remember your name long after you're gone. That's the Stoics' code of winning. It's about building a life of purpose, a life of integrity, a life that stands as a testament to your strength, discipline, and wisdom. So, start today. Start building your legacy, one decision, one action, one day at a time. Live by your principles, push yourself to be better every single day, and create something that will outlast you. That's how you win, not just for today, but for generations to come. That's how you build an unstoppable legacy. The Stoics' final victory, success beyond the battlefield. Winning isn't just about the external victories, the trophies, the money, or the accolades. It's not about what the world can see. The real win happens inside. The final victory is mastery over yourself, over your mind, your emotions, your reactions, and your life. That's the battle that matters most, and it's the hardest one you'll ever fight. But once you conquer that battlefield, everything else falls into place. The Stoics knew this, and they built their entire philosophy around it. The external victories are fleeting, but the strength you build within? That's eternal. That's what sets the winners apart from the weak. The ultimate success isn't found in the things you acquire, it's found in the mindset